close your eyes.
The stars of SnB will race tonight for bragging rights at North Wilkesboro Speedway, presented by iRock TV. But first, tonight, drivers who have not won a race and who are not in the top 15 in points must race the Open and finish in the top 3 in order to make the main or be a fan vote winner, which will be announced at the conclusion of the Open. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SnB's All-Star Race here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. I'm Eliza Bethel, and we have a couple of guys joining me in the booth tonight. We have Pete Ruzick and Jordan McGraw. What's up, guys? How are you?
Eliza, we are back. Yes, short track racing, track just over half a mile. Track brought back by big influence from Dale Jr. And what do you know, NASCAR is going to make the most of it, bring the All-Star race here this year. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm glad to be back with you. It seems like it's been forever since the unmentionable Indy days, I guess we'll say. But glad to be here. And Jordan, man, it's good to actually get to be in the booth with you for once also.
Yeah, it's fun to be here. Thanks for having me. Get to go racing a little later tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun watching these guys and kind of and analyzing and evaluating how they race. Will be a good view of how the race might go later on tonight. See how these guys attack the racetrack. See who might be fast. Who we want to look forward to sweep the evening. You know, that's kind of a vaunted thing for these drivers to do for double bragging rights, I should say. Easy for me to say, but yeah, it's you know, it's a big thing to not only move on to the All-Star race from the Open, but to win both races.
Absolutely. Randy Savage, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. You guys, thank you so much for supporting these guys. It is kind of a special race out here tonight in many ways. This race tonight is dedicated to Deputy Josh Owen, who was killed in the line of duty on April 15th. He leaves behind a wife and son. And Deputy Josh Owen, he is described as having a heart as big as his stature. He loved his family, brotherhood, and community. So if you would like to donate, the proceeds go directly to his family, and the link will be shown below in chat. I'll put it out here. But yeah, so it's a pretty big deal tonight. And I know these guys are looking forward to it. There is the link to donate if you guys so choose. But qualifying, we haven't even gotten to talk about that, and it's already over. But take a look. Let's see who is top of the board here. So far, PJ O'Leary. It looks like he's going to be the one that is top of the charts with an 18.80. Honeycutt, he's got an 18.83. Byron, we have Jones out there, 18.86. Frank Winnisett with an 18.93. And Francis Hamilton's going to round out the top 5 with an 18.93. Pete, you have been broadcasting this entire season. Who do you think's going to have a strong shot at the top 3 tonight?
Well, if we're talking about just consistency, probably have to go with John Honeycutt, PJ O'Leary, and then probably Francis Hamilton. Believe it or not, in that 48, been very, very strong as well. But there could be some guys, try to come from the back. J-Mac, if we're talking about 40 laps, which is what this segment is going to be, what are you looking, since you're going to be on the track in just a little while, what are you going to be looking at to try to maybe learn a thing or two when you try to attack this place after this 40 lap feature is completed?
I mean, first thing is to see how aggressive the racing is, see how desperate it is, because it's definitely going to be probably the same way. I mean, we're running a race more than twice the length, but I've been in a few SnB races, and I know how some of those guys race, and I'm just curious to see how aggressive the racing is. I'm curious to see what kind of racing lines work around this place. It's a very, very, very strange racetrack. Turn 1, it's really easy to kind of get your line wrong because that pit road exit is right there where it's paved, and then the grass comes up, so it's kind of easy to miss your angle and overshoot and hurt your turn 2 exit if you're trying to wrap that low line, even though there's a little less banking. So there's a little more banking, it feels like, about a lane up. And then turn 3 isn't too bad, but the exit of turn 4, if you're too low, you go across a little transition, a little seam that upsets the balance of the race car, and then on exit, when you get to the wall, there's a little place where the car just really wants to get light on you. So I just want to see how these guys attack that, what kind of lines they're running, what kind of lines seem fast, what kind of lines seem to manage to save a little bit of tire. That kind of thing is what you're looking forward to if you're trying to get an edge for the race later on tonight.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a fast one, I have to say. 14 drivers ready to take the grid here. So lined up and ready to go. PJ O'Leary is going to lead this bunch. We're on the back of his car at the moment as these guys are formed, and we're going to go green next time around. Let's talk about how these guys will get moved in. The format. The Open will be 40 laps. The podium drivers will move on. That's going to be your top 3. Then, once the Open concludes, we will have the fan vote winner move on to the race, which is going to be 100 laps. It's going to be a wild night, a quick night. Yeah, Jungle, this is the Open right now. I'm excited to see what these guys do. It is a tricky track, a very flat track. They're going to have a lot of conditions to contend with here tonight, gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. The lights atop the pace car are out, Jordan. You see the 24, the 50, the 44, and that 20 racked and stacked, ready to go. And I'm so happy to be at North Wilkesboro. The Coliseum was a great race in the beginning of the year. We've had some problematic times on and off as the season has rolled on, but we are getting ready to roll.
Here we go. You can see them lining up. PJ with a throwback to Jeff Gordon. You gotta love it. We do have some guys out here. I'll talk about the paint schemes, but they are off and running already. PJ with a pretty great start, I gotta say. We're gonna have River Jones behind him. We have John Honeycutt. He's gonna be on that high side. He's gonna try to look at way down the 28. He gets some contact there, and that's gonna be our first caution. Is that the 20 or the 20? Yeah, that's going to be Frank Winnisett.
Winnisett. Yep, you got it.
Let's take a look at what happened here. Just coming off the exit there. Gets loose, hits the wall, collects a couple right there. Yeah, that's all you can say about that. Unfortunate. Damage does count. And these drivers will not have caution laps count. So that's going to be one thing. They can race a little bit longer, even though there's a caution already, lap 2.
Yeah, and that's a sorry, Pete, but that's a foreboding thing to have happen here early on in the race, because turn 2 is one of the lesser treacherous parts of the racetrack. I feel like definitely, I think in my experience, it's a little less treacherous than the exit of turn 4. So if drivers are already struggling there on cold tires, it's real easy to get loose. But if drivers already struggling at that part of the racetrack, this is going to be a really tough little half mile for these guys to navigate.
Gonna be a really tough little track, absolutely. I think this is was just a little bit of nerves. Maybe got back in the throttle before the before there was any heat in the tires. I mean, we're talking just riding around under pace speed. The lights atop the pace car are still on, so we're gonna go at least one more time around. But everybody just got to kind of get in a mindset that we're going to now take 36 35 laps green and go from there. Definitely saw the 24 PJ O'Leary rocket off the line. As a control car, he's got that ability to stab that throttle pedal first and really sail off into turn 1. He knows nobody's going to be to his outside. Honeycutt now has to kind of determine where that 24 is going to go ahead and stab the throttle. Did he go ahead and learn anything from the initial restart? The 24, he knows that he's got at least a little bit of an advantage from being in that control car. Eliza.
Yeah, Kevin Dalator, he is already on pit road trying to repair that damage. And I'll tell you what, he came out here with a car that was dedicated to Deputy Josh Owen. You can see it a little bit right there. So unfortunate to see that he is having this issue so far tonight, getting collected through no fault of his own. But we're getting ready to try this again, back to green here shortly. Jordan, how do you think the start's going to go here?
Green. Well, it was relatively orderly a minute ago as they fire off here going green. They barrel down into turn 1. PJ O'Leary gets a great launch, and that's going to be super important to hold on to track position, because it's going to be real tough to pass all night. A very orderly start as John Honeycutt allows River Jones to get into that second place, and the top 3 are going to look to check out, because those are the positions that pay tonight.
Oh, the 44 River Jones is going to go into the inside wall, and a lot of drivers once again. Let's take a look at what happened here. This is it's a very tough track. We've said it before, but man, oh man. Let's go on board with him.
Yep, I think he might have had to check up by just a little bit for the 24, and it kind of threw him out of sync a little bit and got back in the gas a little early. Kind of like what Darrell Waltrip used to say a long time ago. When it comes to tracks like this, you want to get back in the throttle very, very easy. I think he used to say, pretend like there's an egg under the throttle pedal. You don't want to crack that egg. It's kind of the same thing. We saw a lot of that in practice. Guys getting back in the throttle too early, getting loose off of 2 and off of 4, and coming across the start stripe or the middle of the back strip slideways.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot like you alluded to early there, Pete. He was underneath the 24, wasn't sure if he was clear, and so he probably had a little more wheel in it as well, trying to get on that steering. And that's a very tough part of the racetrack. The early part of that exit is tough, and then once you get up to the wall, it's equally as difficult to keep that rear end under you. And whenever you're trying to throttle up and you got maybe a little more wheel in it than you'd like to, it's very difficult to hold on to that car and very easy to lose it.
PJ O'Leary back out. Looks like Kevin Dalator, he's going to be trying to get back in line here, but man, oh man, what a tough start so far to the All-Star race. It is such a difficult track. You try to get off the exits, you get on that throttle a little too soon, and off you go into the inside wall, or like we saw earlier, going to be into the outside wall. But it can be very difficult. I can see some of our drivers out there in chat. What's up, guys? Smoke, Mr. Met, how are you guys? And Jungle making fun of us, probably me at this point. Oh my goodness. Lap 3 of 40. If these guys can't get moving green, it's going to be a while before we get this race completed. But I'm curious, Pete, who do you think the fan vote is going to be tonight?
Well, if Team FTR has any kind of influence over the fan vote, I'd probably say I'd have to think the 50 of Honeycutt. He's definitely got some influence. Plus, he sent out a tweet earlier looking for some votes. I didn't see very many others do the same thing. And we know that the top 3 from here automatically advance on. So if the 24, we'll just say if Kevin or PJ O'Leary, John Honeycutt, and Francis Hamilton, the 24, 50, and the 48 all advance, then it would move on to the next person, highest in votes. So it'll be interesting. But I think if Honeycutt doesn't finish top 3, I think he gets through. How about you, Jordan?
I have no opinion on the fan vote. I will recuse myself of such things and allow y'all to talk about it as the broadcasters.
Oh, gee.
I can tell you that we know who's possibly in the lead right now, so that's why I think he is staying mum on that one. But PJ seems to be very consistent out here. John Honeycutt going to be on that outside once again. Francis Hamilton right there, and I can tell you he's looking pretty strong tonight. Derek Hilker, how about that? P4. John Osborne 5th, but we're going back to green. Let's hope we can stay that way for at least a few laps out here. And I do want to give a shout out to Big Papa Bear out here in race control with Woody tonight. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So far, so good. Pete, what do you see out there?
And watch the 50 really close in big on the back bumper of that Jeff Gordon throwback. 24 is going to come across lead. One more lap. Looks like the 7 of Hilker, you mentioned him restarting P4, P5, now up to P3, up 6 spots since the beginning of this race. Francis Hamilton, P4, and John Osborne, another one that you just mentioned, rounding out the top 5, Eliza.
Yeah. Oh, we have a driver trying to lose us. John Osborne, he managed to save it, and man, overcorrects, and that is going to be a caution. Third one. Lap 6 of 40. Man, oh man. Flat tracks, you kind of don't realize how much it does affect your car. These cars, they do not want to turn. They don't want to slow down. It gets kind of crazy.
Yeah, whenever. Sorry, Pete. Whenever you're super tight, that hurts your exit. That's what you can think you're loose, but you're actually just putting so much wheel into it that that you're sliding around off of the corners because you're trying to use the throttle to turn and more wheel. And those, of course, cause the car to slide out from under you, especially in these next-gen cars, which are very unforgiving to drive. And we're seeing that tonight. The racetrack incredibly tight, difficult to enter, as Eliza was saying, and once you start getting tight, you're trying to make that lap time, it's easy to slide it around.
Yeah, we'll see if he comes down pit road, fix that damage or anything like that. PJ O'Leary still consistently our leader out there, but not a lot of racing going on. I think these drivers just need to settle the nerves. There's a lot up for stake here. You do have to get in the top 3 in order to move on. So unless you are able to do that, you're going to be watching from the grandstands tonight. There is a lot on the line, but these guys, you have to have a car at the end. So, Pete, how do we get there?
You have to take care of it. I mean, that is literally the it factor for this race. You got to come across time. I mean, there's no aero dependency on any of these cars, but if you're having wheel issues or you break something, you're going to have a problem turning, which we just saw the 92 have an issue with. As soon as the caution was over, he still managed somehow to run into the side of the 40 and ended up breaking the right front. So I had to go down pit road. So the 92 sitting one more time, waiting on his crew to possibly repair the machine, or he might have actually pulled the plug on it. Not 100% sure, but Kevin Dallatorre one more time in pit road.
Yeah, we have Jeremy Kramer on pit lane also. Let's go back up with PJ O'Leary, see what these guys are up to. Just getting this car prepared. You know, you have to make sure that, especially on that outside with John Honeycutt, he really has to be on it and try to determine when PJ is going to be able to go and get on that throttle. We've talked about it before, but every part of this, I know some of these guys are saying, you know, it's not as hard as it seems, but I've raced these things. They do not want to slow down. You got the pressure on. It is on. So these guys are just going to have to try to settle in and figure it out.
And talk about being back on. Green flag is out. 24 throws it way into turn 1. Honeycutt's going to try to ride the outside. Coming across the start stripe. Eliza, they're 1-2 are side by side going into and off of turn 4 right now. Looks like 24 is going to keep the advantage.
Yeah, they are back to single file until you hit about 7th place, and then they're going to go side by side once again. Let's go back here and look like the 44, and we had some other cars, the 4. So we'll see how they manage out. But let's take a look at Austin Collins. He is new in this league, but I'll tell you what, man, he has got a lot of talent. I'm expecting to see him come up through the field shortly if we can get some green flag laps, Jordan.
Yeah, I raced with Austin Collins in the AARP Truck Series, and he pretty handily dominates it as the 7 loses it and makes a nice save on the front stretch, loses a ton of track position, though, falls back to about the 10th place. But an excellent save to help keep him in the game, although he has a lot of ground to make up from here on if he wants to make the All-Star race later tonight.
Pretty well single file at this point. PJ just looking incredibly strong. You can tell he wants to make it into the All-Star race out here for the main. We'll see what happens. John Honeycutt going to be in 2nd. Francis Hamilton in 3rd. We're going to have River Jones in 4th. And Charles Kramer going to round out your top 5, Pete.
Yeah, Charles Kramer right now up 9 spots, sitting P5. Him and Austin Collins kind of nose to tail. And those are both guys that have made the most amount of progress through the field, whether on track or through cautions that have flown. But Eliza, a long train to coming all the way across the start strike one more time, working lap 13 of 40. Seems like we might have a pretty good green flag feel right about now.
Oh, you better knock on some wood, because you know how this booth curse happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, these guys a little spread out, so it might help with the racing, and we'll see. But man, PJ O'Leary, he's starting to put a little bit of a gap between him and 2nd place of John Honeycutt. So how about that? That's exactly what he wants to see. And what he doesn't want to see is a caution come out. So we'll see if we can keep it green.
Yeah, it looks like the 48 Tigers machine for Francis Hamilton. He's going to apply a little bit of pressure to the back end of the 50. All Honeycutt's got to do right now is really just pay attention out the windshield. Don't worry about the rear view. The 48's going to have to check up when he does. But just as I say that, 50 of John Honeycutt tags that outside wall a little bit. It's going to take a little bit of momentum away. 48's going to dive low, look low, and they're going to go side by side going into 1.
Take a look at that side by side for the 50 and the 48. Who's going to come out on top? 50 gets the momentum coming out the exit, able to hold on to it. The 48 is going to be P3 at the moment. River Jones not too far behind, just waiting for a mistake to happen to capitalize on it. Until then, he doesn't have much he can do until something happens with these two.
Gordon, I'm really surprised and very interested to watch the amount of grip that the 50 of Honeycutt is getting off of turn 4. That's how he's not allowing the 48 to come on by. He's able to accelerate up and off. How much is that hurting the right front or the right rear, depending on which tire he's driving off of more?
Well, that depends on how hard he's working the race car right now, and it looks like as hard as he is racing, he is working that car to the bone. It's a short race, only 40 laps. But all 40 laps are supposed to be made under green. None of the caution flags count. So tire wear will come into play here in the final 20 laps, final 10 laps, as we're getting real close to the halfway point of this race. So this is kind of that point where we're going to see drivers who are able to save their stuff. They're going to work their way forward. The thing is, with these next-gen cars, it is time and time again, regardless of what racetrack, it is so difficult to make passes. And we were able to see Francis Hamilton. He was able to work his way around John Honeycutt through a lot of patience, was able to make that work, and now he's setting sights. The thing is O'Leary in the 24 PJ O'Leary. He now has a conundrum on his hands because the top 3 make it. So does he race Francis Hamilton really hard here? Because it looks like Hamilton has the better car at this moment. Does he work him hard? Does he try to race him for this position, or does he let him go and try to settle in and pace a little bit, because he still has a bit of a buffer into making it into the All-Star race?
Yeah, PJ looks like he's doing pretty solid, but as you said, he's got a lot to think about right now. And with Francis Hamilton right behind him, it can get pretty sketchy coming up here quick. He's got a lot of speed, and this is something that he's been working towards. He's been talking about making this all-star race. So Francis Hamilton, he is a man on a mission, and you can see him already getting up to PJ's back bumper. It's getting pretty close, and River Jones not too far behind, Pete.
No, not at all. River Jones bringing that number 44 throwback to Dale Jr. On up to P number 3, sitting actually right where he started. So he qualified third, running third. So going to show that the qualifying lap that he put down was no fluke. Definitely knows how to get around this track. Again, just a little bit bigger than a half mile. As 48's really starting to put pressure on the 24. Now, J-Mac, this track, I mean, very, very sensitive. All right, you want to try to keep that car as low as possible through the corners. I know these Cup cars, they don't brake very well at all. How hard is the 24 having to fight right now to keep that machine on the bottom line?
Well, they're all having to fight. I mean, it's tough to get around to the line that you want, and you feel like you want to be at the lower line around the curb through 3 and 4. Definitely feels like the fastest. As Mr. River Jones hard into the wall there as he is working hard. He's a beneficiary of getting some fresh tires. He spun earlier. I think he went in and was able to use his set of tires, and that's why he's able to show the speed that he has to get back up to that position where he can move on to the All-Star race. But back to your point, Pete, through 1 and 2, they're down near the grass, the banking kind of flattens out and falls away from you a little bit, so it feels like the faster line might need to be just a little bit up where those guys are driving. But either way, this car just refuses to turn down into the corner. But speaking of turning down, 48 able to turn underneath the 24 and put some pressure on PJ O'Leary.
Yeah, we have 24 under attack, and we also have John Honeycutt under attack by Austin Collins. So it looks like he might lose another position coming up shortly here. But man, oh man, this is getting to be quite a huge battle between these top 5 drivers. And then we have a second pack that's going to start with Matthew Gale. He is P6 at the moment. So a lot on the line, not a lot of laps left with 18-second laps. These races go very quick here, Pete.
Absolutely, yeah. Matt Gale right now sitting P6, again, right where he started. There's actually a few guys out there. PJ O'Leary started on pole, still continues to lead. River Jones, he started third, still running third. Matt Gale started 6th, still running 6th. Philip Bridgman, Dylan Robb, and a couple others, all running right where they started. But yeah, a little bit of distance between Gale and Collins, and then from Gale back to Charles Kramer. Austin Collins right now with 9 laps to go. He has made the most amount of effort out there on track. We got a battle for the lead, Eliza.
We do indeed. The 48 takes over the lead just by a nose, and they are still side by side, so it could change rapidly here. But take a look, and the 44 again just waiting right behind the third wheel, making sure that he can take full advantage of this. But the 48, we'll see if he can do it. 8 laps to go. PJ O'Leary, he's got to drive the whole track as he is stuck up top at the moment. But man, oh man, the 48 car is looking very, very strong, and I have no doubt that he is very capable of making into the race tonight.
I'm really surprised, Jordan, at the 24, he's actually going really, really high, almost like he's diamonding out the corners as the 50 of John Honeycutt tries to look underneath him. Does the 24 have anything left? 6 to go, J-Mac.
He's badly overdriving the corner. That's why he's diamonding it. That you do not want to be doing that. That's not how you want to be driving. But he's losing all of his front grip, all of his front turn into the corner, and racing the 48 and the 44 as hard as he was over driving the corner, and that's what was causing that diamonding action. Now that he's kind of settled in, kind of got himself back under control, you can see him running a much smoother line around this track.
Top 5 drivers just in a line. We have Joe Turkey out there saying, let's go Rivers. Thank you for the follow also, by the way. But he has got some fans out here doing great in second. PJ O'Leary, as we mentioned, has moved back 2 spots along with John Honeycutt. If this race ended right here, right now, Francis Hamilton, River Jones, and PJ O'Leary would move on, but the 44 gets a little loose coming off that exit. He manages to save it, but he is under attack by PJ O'Leary, looking to gain back that second spot, Pete.
Yeah, first through third, they're going to go through, so it's all about pride here. 44 and 24, they are side by side coming off the corner. Little bit of touching on the front fenders. The 50 of John Honeycutt just going to try to figure out which line's going to move. 24 gets a little loose. Honeycutt not close enough to be able to take advantage of that or had to check up. We're coming to the white flag this time, Jordan.
Yeah, white flag. I think the 50 had to check up, or else he was going to KO the 24 because the 24 was KO the 44, and that's how he got loose. But yep, they're coming around. Half a lap to go, Eliza.
Man, here we go to the finish. It's going to be Francis Hamilton as he makes his way around. We'll see if he is able to keep it in there. But man, oh man, Francis Hamilton will be the winner. He will be moving along with River Jones and PJ O'Leary. Congratulations to our top 3 drivers. Next, we will be doing the fan vote. But man, Francis, how about that drive for him? Up 4 spots from where he started. Austin Collins, I got to mention him. He gained 9 spots from where he started. So a great race for him. Unfortunately, it's not enough.
Do you want to know who the fan vote winner is?
Yeah, hold on. Let me get the screen up. We're going to do the fan vote winner here. Brendan, you go ahead and announce it. Who's our fan vote winner?
So fan vote winner is John Honeycutt.
All right, so John Honeycutt will move on. A huge congratulations to him. So he is able to make it into the open, into the race, I should say, not the open. This was the open, but what a race. Several cautions kind of plagued at the start here, but Pete, we had some green flag runs and Francis Hamilton came first. He did a great job out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Francis Hamilton, PJ O'Leary, and John Honeycutt were the 3 that I were kind of keeping my eye on. The 48 really showed in practice as he turned lap after lap after lap that he had some pretty good speed. And while I was watching him, it didn't really seem like he was losing the back end at all. So great job by Francis Hamilton for coming across both him, River Jones, and PJ O'Leary will advance. 24 showed a lot of speed, but now as we move on to the main event, let's see how he stacks up against some of these other all-stars.
Absolutely. I'm trying to get Francis here in the booth. Let's see if I can move him along here. I'm trying to find where it is. Pete, if you want to help me out.
Yep. I get you.
All right.
Let's see.
Next, we will be joining a new lobby for the race. It will be 100 laps for this race. Caution laps will count, but we do have Francis Hamilton in the booth. Francis, how about that drive out there tonight? I can tell you've been putting in the time. A huge congratulations on this win out here.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be locked in.
Absolutely. How'd the car feel out there?
It plows, but it's drivable. At least it's not snappy loose.
I hear you on that. What do you think that you're going to be able to do as you hit the race? There's going to be a few more drivers, probably about 17 to 19. How do you think you're going to be able to handle that out there?
Well, if I read it right, I don't think we're allowed to qualify, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, so it'll just be about trying to avoid whatever's in front of me, manage tires, and just be patient.
Absolutely. Well, huge congratulations. I'm excited to see you out there in the race, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and get, why don't we get River Jones and PJ in here, and we'll have a chat with them. Let me see if I can.
On for Rivers Jones right now. Go ahead and bring him on up. And then, PJ O'Leary will be next.
All right, Pete, you want to have a chat with River Jones?
Absolutely. Rivers, I tell you what, one hell of a race, man. Up 1 spot after starting third. Coming across, what did you learn in that 40-lap open that you're now going to be able to use in the 100-lap main? Rivers, you got me, bud?
Yeah, I got you, sir.
Okay. Were you able to hear that or not quite?
I wasn't able to hear that. No.
Okay. All right. So, first off, congratulations, up one spot after qualifying third. What were you able to learn from that 40 lap open that will now transfer over to the main?
Just gotta make sure you're not driving it too hard because we had a few early cautions those first few laps, and it seems like guys just were driving it way too hard too early. You had to know when to be aggressive and when to try to challenge for a position.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that 44 of yours definitely really seemed pretty stout. If it came down to it and you're on the back end, would we have seen a bump and run, or are you just worried about just being in the top three and gonna play it kind of nice?
I was just worried about being in the top three. Obviously, a win would be really nice, and I got kind of close, but I got loose off of four
Hmm.
with a few laps to go. But I think not in the open, I don't think I would be willing to do that, but in the main event, 100%.
Well, man, congratulations on moving on through. Eliza, I believe you got PJ.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have PJ running at the top three. Congratulations, PJ, for making the race here. You had such a strong start and throughout the race. What was it like battling in these conditions? I know the car can be kind of difficult going through.
Yeah, I've never had a very great relationship with this car, but we were able to have a decent run tonight, and we did the same thing last year as well in the Open. I won the first stint, I think, in advance. So car was it was all right. I didn't hate it. I think I think I burned my tire up there, my right front, at the end of the race because Francis and River passed me, and I was also in the battle with John and Austin. And I hate that my teammate Austin didn't make it, but it's the All-Star. Everybody wants to be in it. Uh, Good run overall though, and see what we can do in the All-Star.
Absolutely. With you having to start in the back, how do you feel you're going to be able to make your way to the front in the race?
Probably just process of elimination. I feel like it's gonna be a wreck fest. I don't think it's gonna be as bad as last year, but I think it's gonna be interesting. Being North Wilkesboro, being a short track. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably just gonna take my time, have the feeling out process, and hopefully, time's right. We'll start making our way to the front. Then again, the drivers in this race are a lot tougher than the drivers in the Open. So we'll see. We'll see what we got for them. We'll do our best.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, and we'll see you in the race.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Pete, Jordan. I'm in the new lobby. I'm not sure if you guys have joined yet. Hopefully, Brendan was able to get in here, but I'm going to take a look at the times here as these guys are in practice. They will have qualifying. However, the guys who did make it from the Open to the race will not be qualifying. They will start in the back. And then we have John Honeycutt, who was the fan favorite. So I'm going to go ahead and get him in here also if I can find him.
You want me to grab him?
Yeah, if you would like.
Sure, absolutely.
While you're doing that, we have Jordan, who is here with us now, but he is going to be in this race. So Jordan, how do you feel about your shots going into the race?
Yeah, I'm just here to look pretty. I feel like not feeling overly confident considering my times and everything in comparison to everyone else here. So I think probably gonna start in the back of the race, and we'll probably just have to take it easy and take care of the tires, take care of the fenders, take care of the car. It's 100 laps, so taking it easy will at least give us a chance to put ourselves in position, and then from there we'll just have to work. But it's gonna be an uphill climb for the old 34 car. I feel like I'm a little off. As I almost killed James Holzer there.
Well, I will tell you, as I always tell you, you say that, but then you do all right in the race. So
but then I run like 10th, and guess what? 10th isn't gonna pay me anything tonight, so you know.
Well, I wish you a ton of luck, and you're with Team FTR, so you know we got your back. We got your back.
Thank you. I appreciate my back being having.
There you go.
I don't know what I just said.
I don't know either. John Honeycutt is our fan vote winner. Congratulations to you, John Honeycutt. I'm glad that you're able to make it out here tonight.
Thanks. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to make it tonight at all, and going through that race, it's just a lot of learning with this next gen, and didn't know where to put the brakes at, and with the setting, and I was kind of probably being a little too conservative during that race, and with the brake package and all that stuff. So lesson learned. Probably going to do a little bit better tonight or in the main event, and hopefully I can get at least in the top 5.
Absolutely. Well, I wish you a ton of luck out there. Hopefully we see FTR in the top 5 here, but congratulations on the fan vote. We'll see you out there in the race.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone.
Good luck, John.
Thank you, Pete.
Yeah.
All right, Pete. We see these guys in practice. Matt O'Brien. He's on the top of the speed charts out here with a 17:57. I'm kind of thinking a little Chastain wall riding out here was the case for that one, but we do know that he has a ton of speed, so no surprise there. But how do you think this is going to go when we have a few more drivers out here in the field?
Yeah, right now it looks to be about 16, unless there's any late comers. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. If that is a blistering lap from Matt O'Brien, and there was no Chastain riding around the wall, which we did see a little bit of in practice before the Open. If that is a true lap, Eliza, that is 1 full second faster than Andrew Wisdom and James Holzer. That's a bad fast lap.
Yeah, we know what that is. We know what that is. I want to give a shout out to everyone in chat. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Crisco, Big Hickory, I'm so sorry that you didn't make the race. He gained 9 spots out there. Like I said in race, the guy is straight talented. It's unfortunate to not see him out there in the race, but a huge congratulations to our top 3 finishers. We have Francis, PJ, and who was the third now? I forget. River Jones. Right. Yes. I'm sorry, River. I'm sorry. But let's go ahead and take a look at those drivers that were locked in. We have Jimmy Cocker from last season Daytona winner. We have Brendan Book, Ryan Crooks, James Holzer, Thomas Harmon, Andrew Wisdom, and I don't think Thomas is out there tonight. Thomas, did you make it in here? Good recovery for Philip. Thomas, I can always count on you for making fun of me. Andrew Wisdom, Matthew O'Brien, Thomas Flitcroft, Jose Ruiz, Nathan Mon, Brody Falliker, Jordan McGraw, Andrew Sanford, Ryan McCall, and Evan Knopp. All these drivers are locked in from wins or being in the top 15, so a huge congratulations to them, and then they will be joined by 4 drivers from the Open or the fan vote.
Yeah, Eliza, if you watch these races, and on any given Monday night, all the names that you just mentioned are those that are typically and traditionally up front week in and week out, whether it's a short track just like this place, or it's a road course, super speedway, a cookie cutter oval, or whatever kind of track it is. These are the guys that are typically up front within the top 10, top 15 every single week. And so far, we've worked through about 8 weeks in this the actual 34 race week schedule, and there's been a lot of fun so far, and looking forward to a lot more as the season progresses.
Absolutely. It looks like Brendan has something to ask me, so we'll see what he has situated out here. Blue Husky, what's up? How are you? Thank you for tuning in. So we'll see what he has to say. I'm going to ask you to see this. Okay. All right. I know what he needs, so we'll take care of that real quick. They are waiting, actually, for Thomas Harmon. I'm telling him that he's not going to be able to come, so we're going to go ahead and advance the session and get on to the race.
Oh, well, in that note, I will get out of here. Thanks for having me.
Good luck, Jordan.
It was fun.
Good luck, Jordan. Thank you guys for hanging in there. All right, James Holzer. He's another really, really fast one. I think he's going to have a really good shot at winning here tonight. He has won quite a few races so far this season as he makes his way through the field.
Yeah, James Holzer having a little bit of fun in the fields, and this is Holzer. He's bad fast. He is a road to pro candidate, and I mean he's last season's champ, so he knows how to get around no matter what he's driving. He's very, very good in the trucks and Xfinity and in Cup. I think last season or to wrap up season number 1, not only with the championship, but I believe he had like 9 wins under his belt or something. It seemed like anytime he got his Camaro in the wind, Eliza, it was lights out for the rest of the field.
Oh, as he hits the pit entrance there, that's a hard hit. Glad that wasn't during the race, but man, oh man. I'm excited for this race. You saw what it was for the Open. A couple of cautions at the start. However, this race is going to be 100 laps. We will not remove that from the lap count here. We will remove that from the lap count. So cautions will count. So this race could go very quickly depending on how many cautions we see. But these drivers throughout the season, I gotta say, as owner of the league, we've had a lot of difficulty starting off in the season. A ton of drivers wanting in the league, and when you have 43 plus drivers wanting in, racing for those positions out there, things can get a little sketchy. So we move things around. I went to race control, and the races, these guys have really changed how they're driving, and they're doing a great job. And I say that as everyone is like chastaining the wall right now, Pete. Like they're trying to make a liar out of me.
Watermelon crawl. Yeah. I've seen quite a few of these guys, and I'm pretty sure that's how Matt O'Brien set his lap earlier. As I say that, he actually put up a 17.5, so even faster than he was before. But yeah, Eliza, we're about to rack and stack this entire field of just about 20 drivers and see who can do what.
I know. I'm excited. 100 laps. This is the All-Star Race, the Deputy Josh Owen All-Star Race, presented by iRock TV. I'm excited to see what happens tonight. These guys are going into qualifying at the moment, so we'll see what they can do as far as the 4 drivers getting in off the Open or off of the fan vote. They will be starting in the back.
Absolutely, keeping an eye on a few of these guys. So far, Andrew Wisdom has gone to the top, but that was just his warm-up lap. I see everything going across the bottom of the screen. Andrew Wisdom, he's bad fast in this 15 again every single week. Nate Mon in that Sundrop Double Deuce P number 3, as Matt O'Brien shows that he can get down there, not in the 17s like what we saw in practice, but right now in 1861. Andrew Wisdom though on top of the board.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom on top of the board. We're going to have Matt O'Brien in second, Nathan Mon in third with an 18.79. Jimmy Cocker, he is out there in fourth with a 19.05, and he's going to get passed by Thomas Flitcroft, who's got an 18.91, but then Jimmy Cocker is going to answer back and tie the same lap time with an 18.59 with Andrew Wisdom.
Yeah, so Andrew Wisdom, he's kind of setting the bar right now. But just like we saw with PJ O'Leary in that 24, do you want to get up there and lead early, or do you want to kind of fall back through the field just a little bit, save a little bit of tire, and then when it's go time, I'd say maybe the last 25 laps, if we happen to go mostly green, do you go ahead then and show what kind of true speed you've got for a long run?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting where these guys are able to make it through the field. It's going to be pretty difficult. You saw the Open on how loose you get coming off the exits. If these guys aren't careful, you can get involved really quickly. So do you hold back during the race until you get to the final parts, or do you try to make your way up to the front and hope that you don't get taken out in the meantime? All decisions that these drivers have to face as we head into the race soon.
Absolutely. We saw just how much time Austin Collins made up throughout the field. Again, up 8 or 9 spots. and he did it during that longer green flag run that we had in the open. So it just goes to show, if you really preserve the tires and you take care of the fenders, and you don't get any unnecessary damage, you can really be there at the end, especially if you're a big short track racer.
Absolutely. Big Hickory, which is Austin Collins, he says it's too hard to pass. Take the lead. So yeah, this is one of those tracks where I feel the same way. It's really imperative that you qualify well, because it is so difficult to pass, and you can really wear down those tires, which obviously is going to affect how well you can drive this track. So if I'm these guys, I'm going to try to get as good of a qualifying run as I can, get out front, and if you can, stay out front.
Eliza, I'm kind of keeping an eye on the 17 of Holzer in that Crown Royal machine. Usually Holzer he will actually get home, turn his rig on, and just get into qualifying. Doesn't really get home early enough to try to lay down any serious practice laps. So far, it's got him 13th on the board. Those that have yet to qualify are Micah Allard. Actually, no, never mind. He's actually up in race control. So I think everybody that was able to qualify has gone ahead and put down their time. Rivers Jones, PJ O'Leary, and Francis Hamilton, right along with John Honeycutt as the fan vote winner. Those guys not able to qualify, so all 13 back to Holzer have gone ahead and put down a time. So far, Andrew Wisdom able to hold that top spot.
All right, Pete, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who do you see as the winner tonight?
I tell you, I think usually I would go with Holzer, but because he's so far back and having to really try to work his way through the field, I don't think he can get it done. I really like the speed that the 48 had all race long, but Matt O'Brien, he was very, very fast during that initial practice earlier. I think Matt O'Brien's got a pretty good shot in that Richard Petty throwback to the 43. How about you?
You know what? I'm going to take Jimmy Cocker. I want to see him win here. He's one of the favorites as far as like winning these races, being very consistent out here. So I want to see him get a win. It's the All-Star Race. Let's do it.
Why not? Why not? Hey, if he can do it on the outside and not get freight trained on the inside during this initial start, he's got a real shot. And I'd like to see that Virginia Tech machine, stay up front all race long, and like I said before, just kind of preserve what he's got and show up at the end.
All right, you hear it. So here we go. We're going to do the grid. We're going to have Andrew Wisdom. He is starting on pole with Jimmy Cocker on the outside. In row 2, we're going to have Matt O'Brien in the 43 with Brody Falliker in that number 1 machine. In row 3, we're going to have Jordan McGraw in the 34 with Andrew Sanford on the outside. Row 4, we're going to have Ryan Crooks in the 25 with Nathan Bond in the 22. And row 5, we're going to have Jose Ruiz in the 23 with Ryan McCall in the 30.
Yeah, Brendan Book's going to start P11 in that number 5 machine. Tom Flitcroft, Tom Flitty in that 8, going to start P number 12. P13 is going to be James Holzer in that Crown Royal 17 with Francis Hamilton to his outside in that 48 to round out row number 7. And that is going to be it for the guys as making it through the All-Star. But PJ O'Leary, John Honeycutt, Rivers Jones, they will right along with Francis Hamilton making it through in the open. So good luck to those guys in the back. It's going to be an interesting time trying to work their way through the field, Eliza.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom has been very strong. So I definitely can't count him out. He is going to be one to contend with. He comes out here not as often as some of these other guys, but when he does, you definitely know he's there. He's going to be a lot of competition for these drivers, but man, Matthew O'Brien, Jimmy Cocker, Brody Falliker, huge improvement from him this season. I love to see it, so I want to see what he can do tonight.
Absolutely. I've kind of captured a lot of these guys between season, being able to broadcast season 1 in full and season 2, I've been able to watch the marked improvement, and I've brought it up on stream many times for some of these guys. It seems like they took the off season very seriously, went out there, ran a bunch of officials, ran in other leagues, really stepped up their game. And when you've got a 3,200 strength of field on average for a league, club, or community race, you're in for one hell of a time, Eliza.
Absolutely. 100 laps here tonight. We're going to have Andrew Wisdom lead us off to green. I'm excited to see how this goes. Jimmy Cocker going to be on the outside. We'll see what kind of start he can get. But man, oh man, these drivers have a lot to race for tonight. It's going to be a fun one as we get ready to go green, Pete.
Absolutely. You see the 43 Kings colors sitting there in P3. Brody Fowler is going to be to his outside. Pace car is about to make that left turn down pit road. Green flag's out. Let's go.
Green flag is out. Here we go. Andrew Wisdom gets a push from Matthew O'Brien in that 43 car. Jimmy Cocker. Man, look at that start for him. What a start. He is off and running side by side with Andrew Wisdom in that 15. I can't believe the momentum he's got on that high side. It is tough to keep that up there. He's going to tuck in behind Andrew Wisdom, but what a start for him.
So I really think that the 43 and Matt O'Brien might have given that 15 a little bit of a push going into 1. He was so much so he was uncomfortable with the amount of speed he had heading in. But like you said, 31 able to settle into P2, 43 third. Brody Fowler 4th, so 1st through 4th, that started 1st through 4th, still running right where they were. But Andrew Sanford up 1 already so far, P5.
Thomas Flitcroft hard into the wall. The guys are still off and running somehow. Don't ask me how they were able to do so, but man, oh man, that's going to hurt his efforts. He was sitting around P7th. He has since fallen back to P14.
Yeah, Tom Flitcroft in that Mountain Dew old Darrell Waltrip throwback. The 44 throwback for Dale Jr. You'll exalt the machine. And then the 48 Tigers machine for Francis Hamilton. He's going to really have his work cut out for him if he plans on carving his way through the field tonight.
Yeah, he's got an uphill battle to climb here, as he did so well in the open, but not much he can do here behind a crowd of drivers trying to make their way through the field, almost going 3 wide. You can see him getting on the bottom of the track. Very sketchy out here. We do have our first caution.
Yeah, it looks like Nate Mon and the Double Deuce might be a person of interest, as I just saw that sun drop machine stuck on the outside wall.
Let's see if we can find out what happened. Nathan Mon definitely involved. I'm not seeing anything right here, so let's go back to Nathan Mon. Oh yeah, just gets loose coming off that exit and hard into the wall here. We'll see if anyone else hits him. Fortunately, it looks like it's just him, but very unfortunate for him. He's got a lot of damage to that right front.
Yeah, he really does, and that was kind of what we saw early in season 1. Haven't seen a whole lot of it so far in season 2, where you try to catch one of these cars when they're about to snap. You tend to overcorrect a little bit, and you go into the outside wall. Looks like the 8 and possibly the 23 of Jose Ruiz going to come on down pit road for 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods. They don't have to do anything with fuel, so they can just keep the car light. But a couple of drivers taking advantage early for some fresh rubber.
Yeah, when we spoke to Jordan earlier, and he was saying, if it does go green, you don't really need to come in for tires or anything like that. So if you have a caution, some of these guys will want to go in, but it's so early in the race. These leaders are not going to want to give up their position. There's just too much at stake, too early. If I'm going to go in, it's going to be a lot later. And man, it's going to be tough to go in because those front positions are just way too important.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think about what the 15's got to worry about right now. Absolutely nothing. He knows that he can trust Jimmy Cocker. Matt O'Brien, he's a seasoned driver as well. Brody Fowler back there, you marked his improvement between season 1 and season 2. So all he's got to do is worry about what's ahead of him. And when he's coming to take the green flag, it's just nothing but clean air on the hood of his Camaro.
Absolutely. We have Thomas Flitcroft out. He is in 16th. We have Jose. He's going to be in 15th. PJ O'Leary, 14th. Ryan Crooks in 13th. Francis Hamilton in 12th. River Jones in 11th. And moving up to 10th here, Brendan Book. John Honeycutt. James Holzer next to him. We're going to have Jordan McGraw, Andrew Sanford, Brody Falliker, Matthew O'Brien in 3rd. Andrew Wisdom and Jimmy Cocker up here on the front row.
All right, Liza, looks like the lights atop that that pace car, that hybrid machine, one more time, are out. About to make that left turn. Here we go. 15 is going to be the control car. Green flag.
Here we go. Andrew Wisdom getting a better start than he did last time for the start of the race here. The back kind of bunching up a little bit, but these front guys all over each other's back bumper. We're going to have Andrew Wisdom on that high side. A great start. He's going to go down to the low line. Matthew O'Brien directly behind. Jimmy Cocker on the top. He's going to round out P3, and these guys going too wide behind. Take a look at that battle.
The one of Brody Falliker and the 37 of Andrew Sanford. Sanford absolutely getting shoved into the corner by the 17 of James Holzer, but able to get on the binders, not run too deep in the corner. Holzer a little loose off the side. Here comes the 5 of Book.
I want to take a look. It looked like John Honeycutt crashed. Let's see if we can take a look at what happened here. You can see him on that low side. Gets hit by the 34. These guys made contact, and off he goes into the wall. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah, so far no caution. That's going to put him laps down, especially when you consider these guys are running 18.6, 18.7 second lap times. And Andrew Wisdom up at the front, the man just put the fastest lap down, working lap 14, now 15, running an 18.6 second lap. So these guys are flat flying to quote old Rusty Wallace.
Looks like a long train of about 7 drivers, then a little bit of a gap between them, and that looks like it might be Ryan McCauley's got the 48 of Francis Hamilton. How about that? Up 5 positions where he started. He brings along PJ O'Leary, who gained 5 also, and River Jones, who moves to P11, gaining 6 spots from the start of the race.
Yeah, how about those guys that had to start in the rear, transferring through the open, all coming through together. The 24 showed a lot of speed early. Did he learn anything between the open and now? Maybe not to fire off so fast. The 48 was bad fast at the end of the run, and of course that 44 working his way on through as well. So far, the only one not up there, and you kind of hit on it, the 50 of Honeycutt had some kind of a problem, but these 3 staying right together.
Yeah, John Honeycutt on his own little island out there. Unfortunate for him, but Andrew Wisdom still the leader of this race with Matt O'Brien not too far behind. The top 3 trying to break away from the rest of these drivers. James Holzer, though, I don't know if they're going to be able to break away from James Holzer. This guy is always on it, and he can start in the back and make his way up to the front of the field within just a couple of laps. It's pretty insane, but lap 19 of 100, actually 20 of 100 right now. We still have a little bit of racing left to do, Pete.
Yeah, a little bit. We got a pretty good race for the lead. 43 was about to be all over the back end of the bumper of the 15, but got a little loose on corner exit. Let's see if he learned anything from that. Yep, a little bit more steady that time, but these guys are absolutely being run down by that 17 of Holzer. He had to start way back in 13th up to P number 4 so far.
I am on board with Matt O'Brien, and man, oh man, was that close. Matt O'Brien looking on the underneath of Andrew Wisdom, almost made contact. And I'll tell you what, if he would make that contact, that was right on his left quarter panel, and that would have been disastrous for Andrew Wisdom there. But on they move, and Matthew O'Brien still sitting P2. Andrew Wisdom still leading this race, looking extremely strong out here as we head to lap 23 of 100.
Yeah, just about quarter of the way there so far. just the one caution. 43 really trying to stay with the 15. Right now, though, we got a battle for P3. Holzer on the inside of that Virginia Tech Camaro for Jimmy Cocker. Move Holzer up to P3.
Yeah, he's making his way around. I'll tell you, I said it. This is one of those drivers who just gains those positions. He has gained 10 positions from where he started at P13. How about that? That is a lot of talent. These are the all-stars of the league. As Crisco says, some pretty competitive drivers for sure. They're doing a great job out here, and that's not going to be the only one that we see for trading positions. Matthew O'Brien already trying to hunt down that lead once again. We saw these guys all the way back when I was announcing the PSES League a couple of years ago. These guys were always battling for position. No different tonight.
Not at all. The 43 and Matt O'Brien absolutely hunting the back bumper of that 15. Seen him get really close. He completely closes in on corner entry. 43 going to get a little loose. 17 is going to get on by. Good save by Matt O'Brien.
Yeah, excellent save for him. Holzer going to take full advantage of that, and he's going to move up to P2. We know that Andrew Wisdom, he has to put a gap and keep that between him and Holzer. Otherwise, Holzer's just going to hunt him down, and he's going to take over that lead. There is not a track that I've seen Holzer be terrible at, and we're seeing that once again.
Yeah, Holzer, he can absolutely get it done every single week, hence the reason he is the Season 1 champ. You know, you talk about PSES and, you know, the Shake and Bake early days on console and a bunch of other, you know, clubs, communities, and leagues that he's run in. You know, since he moved over to iRacing from console, it was very much like a duck to water. He absolutely fit right in, and there was very little of a learning curve. He's one of the guys that absolutely just hit the ground running.
Absolutely. You can see him in gear 4. There are 5 gears in this car. However, you don't need to use them. You can stay in 4th gear, and you can just hear he just takes it so easy through these corners. It's a very flat track. You have to be easy on the throttle as you get on the exit. So he is really doing what he needs to do, catching up to that 15, trying to save those tires at the same time. It can be a difficult journey to happen here.
Absolutely. Holzer's last lap was a 19:08. Andrew Wisdom ran a 19:32. So Holzer 0.3 faster than the leader and closing. That 15 has watched that 17 Crown Royal machine come closer and closer. All Holzer hears right now is that Jaws music. He is closing. Here he's there.
Yeah, Holzer's getting closer and closer, but that gap is increasing between Holzer and O'Brien. These two are a 2-man getaway between them and the pack. You have Jimmy Cocker in 4th, but man, oh man, it's not going to be long until Holzer is trying to take advantage of Andrew Wisdom and take over that lead. He is knocking on the back door of him, and we're going to see him try to make a move shortly.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom sitting on about a 4,400 I rating. Holzer a little over 7K. So these guys, you know, Holzer's got a little bit of an advantage as far as I rating score goes. But Andrew Wisdom so far able to keep that machine that you know, pinch down on that bottom line. But as the laps go on, as we work lap 35, it's going to get tougher and tougher to get on the brake and get these things to turn and then get off the corner. But man, he's doing a great. Oh, Holzer gives a little bit of the bumper.
He sure does. Almost a bump and run right there, but Andrew Wisdom holds tight, doesn't let that affect him too much, and he is still off and running, but that is not going to be the first time that we see that here. We're going to see that a few more times. Holzer really testing him, getting into the back bumper. He's... I will not be surprised if Andrew Wisdom pays him back for that. A little bumping and banging going on here side by side for the lead. Holzer is going to take that lead. Now it's here. Is Andrew Wisdom going to answer back? You know he's not too happy about this.
No, not at all. Now we'll just have to see, though, if the 15 is able to get into the corner the same way that 17 of Holzer was, as he goes a little slideways up and off. But yeah, 15's going to try to throw it in. If he's running right now with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, he's got to knock that chip off and keep his head in the game for the long run. Working lap 38 of 100. We have not even found lap or got to halfway as of yet. 15 just has to make sure that he's there at the end. 43 of Matt O'Brien starting to close back in. With everything that just happened between the top two, he's been able to make up a little bit of time, Eliza. 15 so far looks like he's not able to roll the center the same way the 17 was.
Yeah, that gap slowly increasing between Holzer and Wisdom. O'Brien trying to catch these two after that mishap. You see Jimmy Cocker back here sitting at P4 with Brody Falliker in 5th. Meanwhile, Brendan Book looks like he's going to be challenging possibly Falliker pretty soon, and that's going to be for P5. PJ O'Leary, he has gained 8 spots since the start of this race, but it looks like he might be under attack shortly from Andrew Sanford in that 37 machine. And these guys are in a three-way battle. Take a look at that. We have Francis Hamilton right behind him, and these guys getting very, very tight. The 48, the 37 side by side. The 48 going to get that momentum. He makes that pass, and Francis going to move up to P8.
Yeah, 37 of Andrew Sanford had to check up a little bit not to get into the left rear of the 24, and when he did that, it kind of broke his momentum, broke his rhythm, and the 48 was able to capitalize to move PJ O'Leary up 8, move Francis Hamilton up 6. So both of those guys able to keep on going. And I tell you, those guys that transferred over are really showing why they were able to do that. They have been able to carve their way through the back half of this field. 48's going around.
Oh, the 48 goes around. Let's take a look if we can find out what happened with him. Jordan McGraw involved in that one. Let's take a look. Man, Pete, that's kind of a weird situation there. Just on the wall a little bit and got a little too much wall, I believe. And 34 just runs straight into him. Not the 34's night. That's going to be Jordan McGraw. You see him in that machine right there. Unfortunate to see.
Yeah, I think that might have broken the left front for Jordan McGraw, but the 48 looks like as he got loose, he was trying to save it, and as he was turning right, he found that opening in the wall, and it just kind of kicked him back out again. So very unfortunate. 48 was bad fast in the open. Here he is now. He'll have to try to work his way on through one more time.
All these drivers heading off of pit road. Brendan Book looks to be the only one that stayed out. He is now on pit road making his stop. So these guys getting those fresh tires, they're going to need it for that grip, and that's about the halfway point. So definitely the best time to do so. Andrew Wisdom is going to take the lead from that. Holtzer going to be in second. O'Brien going to be in the top 3. Jimmy Cocker 4th. Brody Falliker 5th. Ryan Crooks moves up another spot. He's going to be 6th. PJ O'Leary up 8 spots to P7.
Andrew Sanford and Ryan McCall going to go ahead and round out the top 10. Eliza, you want to see if we can have a quick word with Andrew?
Absolutely.
Andrew Wisdom is repeat, and the one and only Eliza Bethel in the booth, but you got a copy.
Yep, how you guys?
Andrew, you're looking pretty good. You're looking bad fast in that 15. I know you and the 17 of Holtzer kind of trading paint just a little bit. He was rolling the center a little bit quicker than you. Now you find yourself back up front. Holtzer right back where he was before P2. What can you do now to keep him behind you since you know his tricks?
Yeah, I don't know. Just going to have to hope for another yellow probably. I don't know if I was wearing my right front out or what the problem was, but definitely had nothing for him there after that. The middle part of that run, so I don't know, we'll see what happens. Honestly, I wouldn't mind another yellow kind of at some point to split the rest of the race up just for the sake of not having to worry about tires as much, but if we get punted out of the way that won't matter, but we'll see what happens. It's pretty interesting kind of trying to manage the brakes and the tire wear and everything else, so I think it'll be tricky for everybody, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, buddy, I see the lights atop the pace car are out. You're getting racked and stacked back up. I'll get you back down with Nitro. Good luck, sir. Keep the shiny side up.
Appreciate it.
You got it. All right, Eliza, he seems like he needs some help. He wants those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, but we're going. Pace car's back out. Green flag's out. Let's go.
They're stacked and back up together, and Andrew Wisdom gets help from Matthew O'Brien, who goes to the outside. Holster's going to be right behind Andrew Wisdom. These guys are going to be under attack once again from Holzer, but man, oh man, O'Brien is like, I got to make a move now. If I don't do it now, I'm going to be under attack, and these guys are going to get loose into each other. The 43, the 17. It's going to bring out our third caution of the night.
And a lot of aggression getting in there. 43 was really trying to work the back end of the 15, and the 17 of Holzer all over the color of the King, Richard Petty's number 43. And both Matt O'Brien and James Holzer went up towards the outside wall. I think the 43 might have gotten a little bit more damage than the 17, but overall that was not the way they wanted to see this restart go.
No, it's not. You know, Andrew Wisdom, when we had him in here, he seemed a little bit more calm than I was expecting, especially after that contact between him and Holzer. So I'm wondering, Holzer being pretty aggressive out there. Is Andrew Wisdom going to have to get his aggression up? Or we do have race control out there. Will they be telling him, hey, chill out there, Holzer?
Yeah, it could be, chill down. Otherwise, they may see this since caution laps do count here in the All-Star race. As we come across working lap 51, say, hey, that's this is on you, and they decide to throw an EOL the way of the 17 for driving a little too aggressive. But Eliza, this is the All-Star race. There's no points, no nothing like that. And EOL in this race doesn't mean much because at the end of the night, there's no points. There's nothing on the line. It's all about pride of taking the checkered flag in North Wilkesboro.
Absolutely. And I think that's, gets the aggression up a little bit more. You can do a little bit more than you could in a normal race. EOLs do count in this race tonight, and so you can actually get yourself thrown out if you're too aggressive. We don't want to see that happen, but yeah, these guys, no points for this race. It's all just for bragging rights, basically. So we're gonna see a lot of aggression, a lot of moves being made that normally may not be made. A fun race so far. Lap 53 of 100, just over halfway. Still a lot of racing left, Pete.
Absolutely. The 15, though, he's got a new crowd behind him. He knows that he's able to pull away from the 31 of Jimmy Cocker, and that's not taking anything away from that Virginia Tech Camaro whatsoever. Brody Falliker, that's going to put him up to P3. Ryan Crooks, and then PJ O'Leary to round out the top 5. He's got a new list of drivers, new list of competition starting either to his outside or behind him. He's just going to have to try to be cool, calm, and collected, try to break away and do his thing. Light stop the pace car should be going out this time. As you see them do that, next time by, we're going back green.
Jimmy Cocker going to move up to that second spot. Ryan Crook's going to be right behind Andrew Wisdom. Brody Falliker is going to be up here also. So we're seeing some new faces. PJ O'Leary, who started in the back, he is now up here in the top 5. So some new faces, some new challenges for Andrew Wisdom. We see Matthew O'Brien. He's going to be back in that P14 spot. We'll see what these top 5 can do.
That's going to be really interesting to see just how patient Ryan Crooks is going to be in that 4th spot. We're going back green. Let's go.
Andrew Wisdom with a great start. Jimmy Cocker going to be on the outside. He's going to challenge him for the lead on that outside. He seems to do really well out there. I'm impressed with how Jimmy is able to maneuver that car around, but it is not going to be enough. It is just so hard to pass, and already we have another caution. And it looks like the yellow flag for possibly John Honeycutt involved. Let's take a look.
Yeah, John Honeycutt, Ryan McCall showing to have something going on with them too. Let's see.
John Honeycutt into the wall and just nowhere to go for Ryan McCall. He's going to make some contact with him. The 48 involved. Man, highly unfortunate for that one. John Honeycutt, I do believe that's his second time into the wall tonight. It's just a tough track, you guys. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he hit the wall in the same spot that we saw the 48 hit earlier, right in that opening. And when he did, it just shot him left, and Ryan McCall just wrong place, wrong time.
A lot of drivers on pit lane. It's going to be James Holzer, Ryan McCall, John Honeycutt, River Jones, Jordan McGraw, and Nathan Mon. So, man, only 11 drivers out there on track. We're running out of cars here, Pete.
Yeah, it's not a demolition derby, although after that wreck right there, I mean, normally you would see some cars in the infield, maybe throwing it in reverse and backing into each other, having a good old time. These cars, if we're talking real NASCAR, several $100,000 to put one of these things on track every single week. Good thing there's no repair bill or anything like that. All you got to do is pay for your iRacing subscription, buy the track, buy the cars, have a decent setup for your wheel and pedals, and you're ready to roll. So good job by most of these guys so far, especially those that transferred in through the open. The 15 of Andrew Wisdom continuing to show the way. He has not let the clean air off of his Camaro go whatsoever. Just now past halfway, Eliza, working lap 58, now lap 59. 41 laps to go. Lights top the pace car are still on.
Andrew Wisdom in first. Jimmy Cocker going to be in second. Brody Falliker in third. Ryan Crooks, he's going to be in fourth. PJ O'Leary up 10 spots, our biggest mover of the night. He's going to be P5. Andrew Sanford in sixth. Tom Flitcroft, we saw him in an earlier incident. He is up 5 spots to P7. Brendan Book in 8th. Jose in 9th. Francis Hamilton in 10th. Matthew O'Brien, involved in an earlier incident, along with James Holzer, they are 11th and 12th.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is going to be a true test. Let's see if Holzer can try to work his way back on through. He started 13th before. He's only 1 spot up from where he was, and he was able to do it within the first 40 to 50 laps. So we'll have to see if he can do it one more time. 44 a little bit further in the back, he was able to transfer through, but Eliza, we're going back.
We are going back, and man, oh man, it's going to be a wild one once again. Hopefully we can get some green flag laps. I want to see what these guys can do out there. You see Brody Falliker has the logo for Josh Owen. We are back to green. Man, Wisdom, just with those starts, leading that, he is able to get quite the jump out there, but Cocker is not letting him get away too much. He is all over that back bumper. A little bit of a gap between Jimmy Cocker and Ryan Crooks, but Ryan Crooks is trying to close that up. He is under attack from Brody Falliker. Jimmy Cocker, man oh man, a huge pileup 4 wide as these drivers are trying to go somewhere. Just unfortunate, just nothing you can do when you get loose out there.
Not at all. 31 got wicked loose coming off of 4. Tried to lock it down in order not to spin. Lost it just a little bit and collected a few other cars. But with a track this size, there is very, very little reaction time. We might see at a place like Daytona, Talladega, and some of these other places, they'll stay back a little bit. You can't do that here. You got to get up. You got to get on the wheel, and you got to get moving. Eliza, I think everybody realizes that we are under 40 laps to go. The aggression level is going to be peaked. It is elbows up. It is, take all prisoners and get on it.
It's getting a little scary out there. By the time this is over, we're not going to have many cars left, but it looks like Jimmy Cocker made some contact with Andrew Wisdom on his back bumper. Andrew Wisdom got loose, made a little bit of contact, it looked like, with the wall. Able to save it, but Jimmy Cocker after that, just unfortunate, just lost it. And so many cars involved in that. We have Andrew Sanford on pit lane. We have Ryan Crooks, Brendan Books. We have Ryan McCall. Jordan McGraw still out there. Nathan Mon the same. So 9 cars have stayed out on this caution.
Yeah, Ryan McCall's number 30 Shaboom Machine. It looks like he's missing the entire front clip. The 21 and Nate Monty, he's been on pit road for a while as well. Jordan McGraw's Texas Tech. Number 34 Team FTR Camaro as well, battered and bruised, still sitting there on pit road. So yeah, a lot of great drivers finding that North Wilkesboro, and the crowd just a little bit too much.
A little bit too much. We're on board with Francis Hamilton, who is looking at Tom Flitcroft, moved up to P4. You just gotta survive, man. That's all I can say about this. Tom's parents out there, what's up, guys? Great to see ya. They say, go Tom Flitcroft. Jungle says, I do not believe there is a car that is untouched at this point. Thomas, I believe you.
Absolutely, yeah. Tom Flitcroft's parents out there every single week in chat. They show huge support for old Tom, and it's that's got to be a great feeling for Tom, knowing that his parents are out there. They support what he's doing here on iRacing in the Shake and Bake Cup Series presented by iRock TV. Guys, girls, if you have if you've got a Roku TV, go on over to the streamers section of that television and download the iRock TV channel. It's 100% free. All live broadcasts usually are pushed up or amplified to beautiful 4K. Same thing with any rebroadcast. If you've got a Roku TV or a Roku streaming deck, go on over, look up iRock TV. It's a free channel. It is a 24-hour service for nothing but iRacing. So POV broadcast, club, league, community, podcast, whatever it is, go on over, download the channel, show some support, and a big thank you to iRock TV for picking up the tab all season long. Elijah.
This field is getting smaller, and we're off to an odd start here, but Andrew Wisdom gets a great start. Brody Falliker on the outside. Great start for him, too. He's going to move up to that outside. PJ O'Leary, he is going to be in that third spot with Tom Flitcroft trying to just make charge with that outside, possibly bringing it to 2 wide for P3. There we go. A little bit of contact with that one car and PJ O'Leary. They still hold on to it. We'll see if we can stay green, Pete.
Yeah, that A car in the 43 trying to work their way back through. How about Matt O'Brien coming back after some earlier contact? Same thing with the 48. We saw him tag that inside wall, get kicked down, and here he is back inside the top 5.
Tom Flitcroft on a mission on that outside. We see PJ get very loose underneath him, able to hold on to it, but I'll tell you what, Tom was probably a little nervous as he's on the outside of him. You can see some damage still on Tom's car, just a little scuffed up, but he is off and running. Andrew Wisdom looking very confident out there. He's got some cars between him and Holzer, but not too many, Pete.
Not at all. Holzer right already back up to P5, up 8 spots since the race began. He's got that low side, and as he comes off the corner across the start stripe, you see the back end trying to step out. Now he's got the 43 to his outside. Tom Flitcroft right to his outside now. Holzer still after it.
Look at the wheel work that he is doing as he is coming off these exits, trying to keep hold of this car. He is trying to stay in the throttle and somehow able to do it and keep that car as straight as possible. But he moves up to P3 as we speak and passes PJ, who is on the outside trying to make it work. Thomas is going to fall back to P6 now with Matthew O'Brien moving up through the field.
Whoa, looks like Matt O'Brien's going to go ahead and tag the outside wall, or the inside wall. The 8 car able to save it as well. Both able to keep on going.
Oh.
8 still out of control.
Yeah, Tom still trying to do something. No luck for him tonight in this All-Star race. He is absolutely battling it. I'm really proud of him and how he is able to just hold on to this car through everything he's been through. 26 to go. Andrew Wisdom, he's still leading.
Andrew Wisdom still leading. The one of Brody Falliker getting a shot from the back end by James Holzer, but able to hold off the 17 Crown Royal machine for now. The same little love tap that he gave to the 15 earlier is just what he gave to Brody. Will Brody put up with that kind of a move, or will he cut on down and say, "Yeah, man, that's not the way we do it"? Holzer able to move underneath. Holzer P2.
Yeah, if I'm Falliker and it looked like he did, he just says, you know what, man, I know you're faster than me, just go at it. I'm happy doing something right here. Maybe you guys will wreck out and I can take first. But Holzer super aggressive out here tonight, and Wisdom is going to be under attack in a second. We'll see what happens. Will Wisdom defend this, or will Holzer just kind of his way through to the lead?
I'll tell you what, Andrew Wisdom, last time he was on pit road was lap 44 for Brand New Eagle Field Goods. Holzer's last time was 57, so 13 laps fresher tire on that 17, all over the back end of this 15, a little loose off the corner, side by side.
Side by side, there goes Holzer. He's going to take over that lead, slide up the track. Wisdom going to stay right on his bumper. Question is, how much has he saved those tires? Can he keep up with Holzer? Holzer is up the track. Andrew Wisdom trying to stay too wide, but unable to do so. He gives him a shot like he was given earlier on in the race. Able to sneak in underneath. Not enough to take the lead, though.
No, not at all. That 15, he's going to rub that Crown Royal machine clear on the backside as they come off the corner. One more time, cross the start stripe. 20 to go, Eliza.
Man, oh man, this is heating up, and Jungle says this is about to get interesting. I think it already has. These two battling it back and forth. Andrew Wisdom gets loose. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. Brody Falliker is just hoping that he makes another mistake so he can catch up. Holzer is hoping he does so that he can get away and increase that gap.
Look at the 24 of PJ O'Leary trying to battle with the one of Brody Falliker right now to break into the top 3. Andrew Wisdom already a half second behind the 17. I don't know if that 13 lap difference in tires will make that big of a difference. You would imagine that they would have all equaled out by now. But from first to second, second to third, about the same size gap. 17 now to go.
Absolutely. Francis Hamilton going to be P5, Brendan Book in 6. We're going to have Andrew Sanford in 7th, Matthew O'Brien going to be in 8th with Tom Flitcroft right behind him. Jose going to round out the top 10, and then we're going to have River Jones, Ryan Crooks, Jimmy Cocker, who we saw out 1-2 earlier. He is, looks like he's on pit road.
Yeah, it looks like right now it is only the top 10 left on the lead lap. Rivers Jones in that 44. He's down 6 laps. So everybody else that has been on and off pit road have lost more time than him. So, I mean, if we do have, let's say, a string of cautions, hopefully we don't. I won't knock on anything. You know, we'd have to have 6 cautions in these closing laps in order for him to have any kind of a chance should they get all racked and stacked back up. But you know, Eliza, Wisdom wants another shot at Holzer.
He sure does. And Stack says bump and run likely decides this. He may be right. And we have C. Flitcroft saying no jinxing tonight. Knock on wood, guys. Knock on wood. James Holzer still in the lead. Wisdom in 2nd. Brody in 3rd. 13 to go before we crown the All-Star winner. It's been a wild race, a lot of aggression, a lot of wild moves we wouldn't normally see, but it's been a wild one.
Absolutely. I got to give a lot of credit to Francis Hamilton in the 48 right now, running P4 up 10 spots. The same thing with PJ O'Leary inside the top 5, running that Jeff Gordon throwback, number 24, also up 10 spots. Those two made their way through during the 40-lap open, and man, they're showing that their result there was you know, a very strong statement for them here at North Wilkesboro. 10 to go next time by, Eliza.
10 to go next time by, and PJ O'Leary looked like he made a little contact with the wall. I'm on board with Brendan Book, who's sitting P6, and you can see all the way up to our leader, James Holzer, who is the biggest mover of the race, up 12 spots, and we have 10 to go. And Pete, is anyone going to be able to catch Holzer?
If he doesn't make a mistake, if he doesn't get loose, which I mean, this man generally runs flawlessly. Unless he's in some kind of traffic, I don't see anybody catching him. I think Andrew Wisdom, I think that 13 lap difference in tires is truly making a big. I believe that is why he can't catch the 17, or maybe he saw Holzer coming and ran the car just a little bit harder. But looks like Holzer's starting to catch the 23. No, that was actually the 34. But J-Mac decides to bring it on down pit road, get out of the way.
We saw Jordan in the booth earlier. Not his night for the All-Star race, but 7 to go for this. And this is James' race to lose here. So we'll see what he can do. But we have Andrew Wisdom. He's about to be under attack by Brody Falliker. We'll see if he can't make a move with 6 to go, but man, what a night. And I've talked about it before, I'll say it again. Brody Faliker just having a fantastic season. I'd love to see the growth of these drivers, and he's one of those where, the improvement that I've seen from him, making his way through the field each and every week. We have Andrew Wisdom up in the wall a little bit, gets tight. That's going to leave way for Brody Faliker to take over second. How about that? Just love to see the improvement, Pete.
Absolutely. The one of Brody Faliker last season, it was like Hennessy Performance Racing or Hennessy Performance Machine, something like that. But since he moved on over to Team FIWB, it has just been a marked improvement by the 1, by the 48, and others. So great job by Brody Faliker to move on up to P number 2, up 2 spots after starting P4 in the beginning. But so far, nobody has been able to outclass the 17 of Holzer. 3 measly laps to go out of the 100 that we started with, or if you want to add the 40 in from the open. It's been one hell of an evening so far, Eliza.
One hell of an evening, and Holzer is almost 3.5 seconds ahead of Brody Faliker with 2 to go. So we're coming down to the wire here. 100 laps goes very quickly with these drivers. Brody, we'll see if he can't hold on to P2 with Francis Hamilton takes over 3rd spot from Andrew Wisdom, who is now P4. But we are on our final lap here. Unless he makes a mistake, we're going to crown him as the winner here tonight for North Wilkesboro All-Star Race. Here he goes. He is the winner here. Man, oh man. How about that? Brody Faliker going to bring it home in second. Look at these guys. Francis Hamilton in 3rd, Andrew Wisdom in 4th, and that's going to be some chaos. What? James Holzer with that finish. Good grief.
Yeah. I tell you, I was watching, kind of keeping up with him over the last couple laps, and he was completely out of the throttle going through both ends. I think that man was just flat out of tire the way that he had to run coming through the field again.
Yeah, we're going to have to get these guys in the booth, but man, what a race. We saw Holzer make it up through the field, not once, but twice. So great job to him. Brody Faliker, how about that second? Francis Hamilton making it in there with the open. He makes his way up 11 spots to P3. So a huge congratulations to these drivers. Let's see if we can't get him in the booth here.
Absolutely. Got Francis Hamilton ready. Looks like up 11 spots, Eliza, and he's with you.
Yeah, Francis, how's it going?
Hello again.
Great to talk to you twice tonight. Rounding out the podium finish here for the All-Star Race. 11 spots gained, the second most positions gained in this race. How were you able to make it through the field like that?
At the beginning, I was able to pass cars pretty quick and drive to about 8, and then I made a stupid move and decided to hit the gap on the backstretch and bring out a caution. And then they all just started piling up in front of me after that, and was able to take advantage of it. I feel like I had really good speed anyways, but definitely some good fortune after.
Absolutely.
My race.
Yeah, you've made a huge improvement. We've talked about this too. A huge improvement throughout this season. Just a really fun all-star race to watch and open. So congratulations to you on P3 tonight.
Thank you.
All right, Pete. I see we have Brody Faliker in here for second. You want to give him an interview?
Absolutely. Brody, it's repeat. I tell you, bud, up 2 spots after starting 4th when it's all said and done. Another one, just like the 48. A lot of improvement between season 1 and season 2. Coming home runner-up here for the Shake and Bake All-Star Race, live from North Wilkesboro, presented by iRock TV. One hell of a run, man. Take us through your way through the field.
Well, I mean, mostly it was about really just dodging all the wrecks. Other than that, I feel like I had a pretty solid long run car. I'd like to know if Holzer had newer tires right there than what I did because man, he was fast in very end of the race, and I just had nothing for him. But you know, it's nice coming home in P2. Uh, definitely very good race run by myself, and I'm happy for myself, and I'm happy for Frank winning the Open and finishing third.
And that I mentioned, you know, switching over from Hennessy Racing Season 1 to Team FIWB this season. Both you, the 48, and everybody else that's part of that team. Big improvement all season long. You come home P number 2 one more time. Congratulations, and we'll see you again next week, sir.
Thank you.
Eliza, I know this has been the interview you've been waiting all season for, and the one and only Mr. Holzer is with you.
We got Holzer, who won the All-Star race. We saw you moving up through the field not once, but twice. Holzer, how'd you do it, and how was your race?
Yeah, our race went pretty interestingly. Totally blew the Q lap and qualified P last out of everybody that qualified. Just the open guys were behind us, and yeah, this car was rather interesting to get around the track. I feel like the first few laps on the tires was just treacherous because it was loose and tight. It was feeling a little bit of everything just because those air pressures had to get up, and it was really hitting the splitter and the rear hard. But once it got up, it was pretty good. Not really that much fall off for the first like 30 laps or so of the run. I was still able to hold 18s, but yeah, it was really hard to pass. Just kind of almost had to be a bully. Guilty of that probably 4 or 5 times tonight, but hey, it's an all-star race, so you know, aggression's allowed to be amped up a little bit. Wisdom and I put on a pretty good battle there a few times with some very clean bumper shots. When we got the one caution there, I don't know if O'Brien got checked up too hard or what happened, but I spun him, and we were only I only had like 2 lap old tires, but I came in to fix my damage and accidentally took my last set of tires, so really didn't have an advantage on tires. Just was able to really roll the corner, I think, a little better than a few others, as I know people were getting tight on entry. I was lifting like almost at the start finish line, just like letting it really roll in and making sure I could let the car cut down. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and glad I went green there because if we got a caution at the end, I don't know how the old tires would have fared up, but especially with you know, bumpers being in play. But nonetheless, pretty good race overall. It was less cautions than I expected, and yeah, it was a pretty good all-star race, to say the least.
I would say so. And we did see you get a little aggressive out there. Were you expecting any of that back? We saw you make a couple of bumps you spoke about with Andrew Wisdom and a couple of others. Were you expecting that back from Wisdom and the others that happened with?
Oh yeah, I wanted it back. I wanted some good, clean, aggressive racing, and Wisdom definitely put that on. And that's
Yeah.
the people I do that with. I know they can execute it, you know, and we can race clean and hard. And you know, it's short track racing, especially here with it being so hard to pass. It's definitely okay to lay off the or to lay in the bumper, and I used it, and like I said, I definitely wanted others to use it too. So glad that Wisdom did it, and I knew he was going to. I'm like, I need to get away before I get wrecked, but. Yeah, nonetheless, it was a really good race, and more importantly, it was for a really good cause. So hopefully, we put on a good show for that cause, and put on a good show for everybody watching. Because I know I had a blast running.
Absolutely. Well, a huge congratulations to you. You are the all-star winner here tonight. So great job.
Thank you. Can I get my 25 bonus points back? Is that the prize?
Listen to this guy.
I heard that was the prize for the All-Star win.
Was it? All right.
No cash prizes. It was
just all points.
Thanks,
nice try, Holzer.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Take it easy.
Hey, you too. Thank you, Pete, also.
You got it, buddy. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, Pete, that's it for us tonight for the Josh Owen All-Star Race here at North Wilkesboro. A lot of fun. These drivers did an amazing job. We saw some cautions in both the open, but the race, I should say. But Holzer, he managed to take home the win, and man, what a fun night.
Yeah, a lot of fun. We saw a lot of great, you know, side by side, sometimes 3 wide, 4 wide under caution at one point, and these guys were absolutely after it. Nobody laid up. Everybody was, you know, just on the throttle as much as they could be for this track. Again, just a little over a half mile in distance. And, you know, Eliza, I got to say a big thank you to the guys in the tower, you know, Jeremy Teasler, Mike Papa Bear Campbell, and Micah Allard. You know, race control is, as you know, since you've kind of, you know, put the driver's seat on the hold for a little bit, that is probably one of the most thankless jobs. So thank you very much for everybody that was in the tower tonight, and for, you know, what you do week in and week out as well. This was a whole lot of fun, and thank you so much for allowing me to join you this evening, or thanks for joining me, however you want to put it. Absolutely a lot of fun. We got to do this more often.
Absolutely. That is it for us tonight here at the All-Star Race. Next week, we're going back to the points race, so I hope to tune in. And Pete will be back in the booth, so be sure to tune in on his channel. It's going to be twitch.tv/repeat1975. You guys have a great night. We'll see you next Monday.